What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. A link will be in the description box below as usual. This video is entitled The Hypocrisy of Racial Profiling. I checked out a documentary about if people wanted to be honest about racial profiling that was in the UK, right? About crime and who really does what crimes in what areas. And at the same time, I checked it out a couple days ago. I sent it to a few other YouTubers and a few other people who subscribe to me and other people's channels. It's just like a group chat, right? But at the same time, I kept getting messages for the video I made about the news article with their professor saying why he'd tell his children about not having white friends, right? So I kept getting these comments, just comments. You're a racist piece of blah, blah, blah. And it's always, but I'm not like that. I don't raise my kids that way. You're racist to see you. We don't see color. And I'm like, you talking to a black man in America. Cat told me they was from Denmark. And, it's not racist and not peaceful out here. I was like, is this the same Denmark that was in the slave trade and the same Denmark that has been exploiting Africa for years? The same Denmark people, these Danish people, right? So here's my issue. When it comes to racial profiling, people have pros of their race and people have cons. Now, when it comes to being black, everybody wants to marginalize all of our pros. All of our pros are anomalies, even though they're every freaking where, right? All of our pros are anomalies. That's just that person. Oh, that's just that person. Oh, that's just that. Oh, that's just that. Oh, that's just that. Oh, it's just okay. I've seen 10,000 people like that today, but they all are individuals. But the minute we have a negative connotation to being black, all of you are like that. But when it comes to other groups, other ethnicities, other races, other religions, other genders, so whatever, gender fluid, whatever you want to call it, all these other groups want to be hypocrites because they want you to maximize all of their pros and then marginalize all of their cons. Like all of their negative behavior is just, now all of their negative behavior is just, oh, that's just that person. Oh, it's a lone wolf. Oh, those are mental issues. Oh, the kid got beat upside the head with a Teddy Ruxpin and hasn't been right since. That type of stuff, right? So this is my issue with it. And I'm making this video because I was making video and I was responding to a message in the video. So the video was about that thing, and this guy was like, basically, we aren't like that. Those are Jews, and Europeans don't act like that. The people that you really need to be worried about are the Jews. And I'm like, and I responded like, Jews are European. Like I see, that's the hypocrisy. People blame a lot of stuff on Jews. They had their hands in a lot of stuff too. Don't get me wrong. But the hypocrisy, there are other people, they're Caucasians who black people are all the negative things. And if you can't blame black people, blame Jews. You can't blame Jews, blame Mexicans. Can't blame Mexicans, blame gays. Can't blame gays, blame Muslims. That's the problem. Like, white people's history is documented. You can't run away from your history. You murderers, you killers, you thieves. Like, this whole country is stolen land that you killed people for, and they got nothing in return but death to their children. And that happened in Australia. That happened in Central and South America. Hawaii, like Alaska. Come on now, stop playing. Stop playing. Africa, like. Tried it in Asia in certain spots. Certain spots work better than others. You know what I'm saying? Say India, well, Asia, that's India. India is in Asia, same thing. But to say all of these are one-offs, like we got like 500 years worth of history, y'all messing stuff up across the world, but everything y'all doing is a one-off. Now, the reason I bring that up is because in a documentary, they were talking about black-on-black crime. And what it was in the black neighborhood, people would say black-on-black crime. And it was like, well, this is all drug-related crime, kind of, and alluded to it. And it was like, well, but when they did it by race, it all funneled back to Colombians that was living in black neighborhoods, because they could make a gang of money in a black neighborhood being drug dealers and be at the top of the food chain creating all of the drama, but never be blamed for it. And that's the crazy part about racial hypocrisy. With this opioid epidemic, I've made a video about this already. Like, nobody could tell you with the face who's the opioid and heroin drug dealer. That's crazy. We know who the face is, but to be hypocritical, you don't want to put a criminal face on a non-black element. And this just goes across the board. And these other groups' negatives. So, and heroin has been a problem for especially white America since Philip C. Hoffman OD'd. I mean, let's not play games here. That's when they really wanted to get serious about it, when it was so bad that a top actor died from an overdose, right? But no face of heroin dealing since then. And, like I told the old man, and I said in a few other videos of mine, when the military went to Afghanistan, who that's the country that produces the most heroin, like, you ain't got to put two and two together. You see all these movies and television shows with white people doing all kinds of unscrupulous things, and it's just entertainment. Like, if we took, when people say I saw rap videos, I saw the news, all these black people are like this. It's because I see it on TV. You see white people killing people on TV all the time. Raping women on TV all the time. Setting up people all the time. Torturing people all the time. Putting cases on innocent people all the time. Terrorizing people using the badge of any kind of law enforcement all the time. All these CSI shows and what's the one with the one that used to, Criminal Minds and all that, bunch of white people. All of these PDs and fire department shows, all white people doing all kind of crazy. All these criminal shows, the Sopranos, all white people. They had to get this from somewhere, Ray Donovan had to get, and that goes on us too, because guess what we do? It's just TV. It's just white people. So how can it be just TV? When it's white people, when life imitates art with them, but if life imitates art with us, it's all of us. That's crazy. Same thing with the how can I put this? The Hispanic part of it. They're all hardworking. That's not what I see out in the world. Not to say they aren't, like, everybody has hardworking people, but that's not what I see out in the world. I see a lot of half-ass aloofness, and the people that people are pointing at, but nobody talks about their negative, things. They never talked about, when Trump was like they're raping and dealing drugs, people was all upset. They do have that element, but you don't want the rapist and the drug dealer to be the element of the Hispanic. But then you promote all these cartel shows with Hispanics killing motherfuckers and selling drugs and raping motherfuckers. It's like, have you not balanced this out yet? You got Muslims who following the faith, which is usually Middle Easterners, And, on one end, they're humble, faithful people. On the other end, they're trying to blow up America. But, the whole little sex trafficking angle, like they were talking about in that documentary, that was kind of Arabs and Middle Easterners and some other group of guys. Eastern European, like Russians or something like that. But kind of like the movie Taken. That's because everybody has a profile, right? Everybody has this profile. But when it comes to profiling us black people, everybody's all in with the profile. When it comes to profiling everybody else is negative, that can't be, that's not us. No, And that trafficking, illegal guns, sex trafficking, this little slavery thing in Libya. It's underlying that it's probably Arabs that's doing it. You get what I'm saying? But nobody wants to touch that, right? Because it just doesn't go with the narrative of the group. We can't judge the whole group by a few people. And a person in my position, like, I don't know why not. I mean, y'all say y'all judge us by a few people. It's normal for everybody else to judge us for quote unquote a few bad apples. But when we look outward, all you other groups got a lot of goddamn bad apples. Y'all ain't got a few, y'all got a lot. And you know how I know y'all got a lot? Because y'all get away with shit in mass numbers, and you see regular people who you wouldn't think to be criminals doing pseudo-criminal stuff because they got away with so much anyways. So if they're not even the good people doing suspect stuff in public on a regular basis, like I remember when I was younger, my homeboy used to hate what he called gypsies, right? They always stealing shit. I was like, I didn't know. But then as I got older, the ladies with the long dresses sticking shit up their dresses and the kids sneaking shit in. I'm like, God damn, this boy was on point. And my homeboy's a white dude. And I'm like, I didn't know that culture at all, Same thing with the Asian culture is, you got the intellectual culture and the business culture. But all of a sudden people act like Asians don't have a criminal culture. Really? Like, but then you portray them as, their pros are, intelligent people, quote unquote kung fu artists. I don't know if they really like that or not. I'm not too sure about that. But business people and then gangsters, the Yakuza and Triad and everybody. I'm like, that kind of makes sense. Like, that's how they get down, right? And I've lived in those neighborhoods where they used to, they were breaking each other's houses because they kept money in the house and not necessarily at the bank because they ain't trust bankers. Or I don't think they just trust white bankers. They waited till they built up their own bank to do it, I'm guessing. But robbing cars. I know it sounds stereotypical, but, I lived in, my grandmother lived in a Vietnamese neighborhood in New Orleans. And, if my aunt came home in a Honda, they tried to steal that joint. My grandmother had bars on the windows. It wasn't a black neighborhood. It's an Asian neighborhood. They were breaking your damn house. You know what I'm saying? And then she told me numerous stories of them trying to buy her out to get the Negras out of the neighborhood, right? Because she literally got there right before they started moving there. This is years ago. But, she died years ago. So, it's completely a Vietnamese neighborhood now. Nothing against the people, but, people act like their negatives don't exist. When we talk about all the culture vulture stuff, the same thing that people profile, oh, that's so ignorant, that's so ghetto, that's so nasty, that's trash. And then 2, 3, 4, 5 years later, y'all doing the exact same thing? Like, I got a boxing podcast, and my co-host, we would talk about the PBC. And I said, everything the PBC is doing, even though people might not like it, 5 years from now, they're going to do the exact same thing. They're just going to put white faces in front of it and everybody's going to say it's great. Same thing like when people, American Idol. That ain't nothing but Showtime at the Apollo. The celebrity battle rap. Smack DVDs and, all the battles in the underground you've seen with Loaded Lux and all that. That's the same thing, ain't it? But it's different because it ain't a room full of black folks, right? A lot of the, all of the genres of music in America. It was bad when the black dudes was doing it. Jazz was bad because the black dudes was doing it. And then, Now jazz is okay. Rock and roll was bad because the black dudes was doing it. Now rock and roll is okay. You know, R&B was bad. You know, it wasn't that bad. You know, you got these kids dancing, but you know, we gonna just steal these songs because the black folk. Like it's the same thing. You know, people gotta understand that goes with our creations as far as ironing board, cleaners, lawn care. Because it was bad when the black dudes was doing lawn care. Now it's good when Mexicans doing it. See what I'm saying? You know, it was bad when black dudes had mom and pop spots, but now it's cool to have all these mom and pop business. Be a business owner. Racial hypocrisy. The profiling hypocrisy. You know, people, and this goes to even we as people get confused in this because we go to places with more respect for other people than other people. You know, you can get treated bad in a non-black business and just be like, but they ain't black. Cause you're like programmed for some odd reason, right? But to me, it's like a bunch of racial hypocrisy. You know, is there shootouts? Is there crime in the black community? Yes, absolutely. The crime in the other communities, people act like they don't exist. That's hush hush. You know, they had the video about the dude who used to work with the U.S. Marshals. Somewhere on YouTube, you can find it. When he said, "Man, why don't we go to these white neighborhoods? We ain't doing no drug bust out. These people are connected. All these white people ain't connected. You know." There was a guy who was the drug dealer out of New York and Canada. How is he at parties with Leonardo DiCaprio? Because he's a white drug dealer. He's not necessarily looked at in that way. You know, he could just kick it and walk around with Lamborghinis and not have a job and nobody knows where he works. That's just, hey, he could be anywhere, right? That type of thing. That's why it's a hypocrisy, because everybody else's negatives just for some odd reason don't exist. And that's bullshit to me. I'm just saying. We out.